Current and former CEOs of some major companies are now warning us of an economic disaster, what we are about to face moving forward. So I'm going to break all this down in today's video. The one thing that you need to understand when it comes to our economy is we are seeing a massive shift. But as we see this massive shift, we could also see a new president and a new majority in the House and the Senate, which means things could actually flip in the next handful of months. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So why are all these former or current CEOs coming out and giving us a warning regarding the economy? Well, it's simple. They're trying to give us guidance, telling us what they see, what their company sees, and why it could be either good times or bad times moving forward. Spoiler alert, most people predict bad times. Let me just show you this. The former Home Depot CEO warns Biden's economy created a wrecking ball for the next president. Says former Chrysler and Home Depot CEO Bob Nardelli warned the fault lines of the economy are about ready to crack. This is something we've been feeling for many months, actually for multiple years as well. We knew that this year was going to be a very interesting year. We could see inflation come all the way down, but our interest rate's going to fall along with it. Well, they haven't done so yet. We knew unemployment is likely to stay low, but the big concern is when are we going to see that shift where now companies really start mass layoffs? Experts say that's going to happen likely in the first quarter of 2025. So the first quarter, the next president or our current president starts his second term, well, that could be a very difficult time. Now, I want to read you what Bob Nardelli had to say. Look at this, okay? He says, what I've seen over the past 3.5 years is that a series of debacles and missteps have created a tremendous pressure on the fault lines of our economy, and they're about ready to crack. Interesting. He goes on to say, whoever gets the next stint in the White House is going to be hit with a wrecking ball in trying to correct the missteps and the overspending of this current administration. So we're in for a rough time, I would say. Here's the thing you need to keep in mind. Many CEOs, former CEOs, financial experts, economists, all predict we are in for a rough time in the future. In the end of 2024, likely the beginning of 2025. Here's the reason why. Some are saying that we aren't going to see a bunch of mass layoffs at the end of 2024. We're not going to see it. Why? Because there's an election. Presidents, the people campaigning, former President Donald Trump, current lawmakers, politicians trying to get a seat in the House and the Senate, or even, certain governors, they don't want to see mass layoffs. They're going to do everything they can to kick the can down the road, push it back a couple more months, so at least they can get elected. That's the first thing you need to understand. But we may see more and more signs of trouble very soon. Look at this. The Bass Pro Shop CEO says the brand will focus on affordability amid rising costs because inflation is here. Says Johnny Morris, the CEO and founder of Bass Pro Shop, says inflation is very real. Brand will focus on affordability amid rising costs. Now, I want to read you his exact, I'll read you his exact statement, but I just want to read a couple other things too. Inflation is currently at 3.4%. Where'd it go? There it is. 3.4%. The Fed's goal is just 2%. That's a pretty big difference, okay? It's dropped from 9.1% back in 2022, June 2022, but it's still high. Some are saying that inflation's here and it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. There's a good chance the Fed never gets back to its 2% goal, 2% target goal of inflation. at least not for multiple years. We may see 3% inflation, 2.8, 3.1% inflation for the next 2 to 3 years. At least that's what economists are predicting. Again, this is going to spell trouble for most Americans. But here's where things get really interesting. When the CEO, one of the world's largest banks, okay, says a major U.S. bank boss issues grim economic warning. Now, who is this? Well, it's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon. Listen to what he had to say. Okay, I want to read you this. Listen to this. It says the worst outcome for the U.S. economy will be a stagflation scenario, where inflation continues to rise, but growth slows amid high unemployment. Here's where we're at currently. Inflation continues to rise. Check. Slow growth. Check. High unemployment. We are not there yet. This is the concern. If we see additional layoffs, which they are expected in the first quarter of 2025 and the second quarter as well, they will actually increase. And here's the reason why. We have a massive amount of debt. There's about $2.5 to $3 trillion of commercial mortgage debt that has to be refinanced. It's not going to happen. We aren't going to see it refinanced. So, banks are going to go under. As banks go under, businesses that rely on those banks will actually shutter their doors. They won't be able to borrow any more money. Banks aren't going to lend in the way that they're currently lending. And even right now, it's very difficult to get a loan. Personal loan, in many cases, out of the question. Try to get a business loan, in some cases, out of the question. Even opening a simple credit card, depending on what your credit history is, your credit score currently is, and your work history, may be out of the question. So, as all these people struggle financially, we are about to see more and more layoffs. And then we will see higher unemployment. Again, what did he say? It would be a stagflation scenario. Inflation's going to rise. We know that. We have slow growth already. The only thing we're waiting on is high unemployment. That should be coming in the next 6 to 12 months. So, here's what I can tell you. All these CEOs and former CEOs coming out and providing these warnings about the U.S. economy, about the state of the economy. You need to listen to these warnings. You need to be prepared. You need to put money aside.
Business is
you need to make sure you're paying off debt.
Constant content creation, community management, juggling of platforms, and unpredictable income. There has to be an easier way to monetize your memberships. Enter MuseScreen, hands down the best all-in-one membership platform designed specifically for video creators. We help you generate consistent subscription revenue without losing your mind, with powerful monetization features, easy distribution across devices with a branded membership site and app, sleek video organization and streaming capabilities, and community tools built to engage and retain more customers.
And
MuseScreen gives you the power to connect with your audience like never before, and the VIP treatment from our team of experts on hand to help you every step of the way. To make consistent, reliable revenue while keeping full control of the brand and business you've worked so hard to build. Start your membership journey with MuseScreen today.
Prices on over 5,000 items. We know Target slashing prices on over 4,000 items. Okay. Walmart, again, slashing prices on many items. They're doing rollbacks on thousands of different items. We are seeing major retailers cut prices because they know if they don't, consumers don't have the money to spend. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but I just want to share this economic warning. It's not from me. This is from major CEOs and major corporations here in the United States. They're saying they see the warning signs, they see the writing on the wall, and they're trying to be one step ahead. So make sure you follow suit and be prepared. But that is what we know as of today. Again, as soon as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.